They had a message that was of importance, of significance. So when you heard their voice crying out, it was distinguishable among all the other common voices perhaps in the marketplace. If you're sitting if you're in the midst of the city, you're in the marketplace. People are talking, and over talking on top of each other. But then suddenly there's that distinguished voice that rises above all the others, that literally can call the attention of everyone else who might be speaking. Here's this third teaching point, is that the voice of wisdom is distinguishable. First of all, it can be heard by all men. Secondly, it's is identified in the female gender because wisdom is going to give birth. It's going to incubate and give birth. And then finally, that voice of wisdom is distinguishable. It's uttered, spoken specific words that will be identifiable. You'll know it's the voice of God. Wisdom speaking, trying to get your attention. This is what I want to close with. Sometimes that crier, that herald, was responsible for calling an entire neighborhood or an entire small town to alarm, to notice, to be put on notice that something urgent was either taking place or on the horizon, to get their attention. He would use his voice and utter his words. And there were certain definitive words that could be used that they would know when they heard not only his voice, but the word that he was speaking, the words that he was using. It would alert them to there's danger, or there's a need for covering, for protection, to make yourself ready, or a great announcement of something important, something significant, something that mattered. I believe this illustration that Solomon is using here in this passage is to help us understand that although the voice of God is being distributed through the entire known region, every man can hear him, and all who will listen can hear his voice. That the voice of God, the wisdom, is going to give birth to great things that will take place in that person's life. Solomon also wants us to understand that we have to pay attention to the words that God is speaking through wisdom to get our attention. We have to know when to be put on notice, to recognize the voice that's alarming us to a harmful, oncoming problem, issue, disturbance in our life, in our relationships. We need to be able to hear that voice challenging us to go this direction and not that. I want you to know that every person who listens can hear the voice of God. And when you hear him, you have to clearly know what God is saying, to hear the words, to know when it's time to draw near, when it's time to run and cover, when it's time to come into an audience before him. You have to be able to hear his voice, to know clearly what he's speaking into your life. Father God, I'm praying now that those who are listening, they can hear your voice and know what alarm you might be calling them to. God, I pray that we not only hear, but be discerning to know what you're doing, what you desire, what your plan and purpose is for us at this very moment in our life. I'm believing God with you, and I want to encourage you to hold on to the life that we find here in the book of Proverbs. I believe that every word that God gave Solomon to share with us is a word that's going to help us to walk in a greater fullness of life. And that even in this message today, you need to keep your ears open. Stay attentive to hear the cry, to hear the voice of God. This is your opportunity right now. Give us a call at the numbers that you see on the bottom of your screen. One of our LifePoint partners is standing by to take your prayer requests. This is Pastor Dale encouraging you to stay on the path that leads to real life.
Thank you for joining us today on LifePoint for this exciting new ministry that will help you move beyond the obstacles that prevent you from living real life. To receive a copy of today's message, we invite you to visit us on our website at lifepoint4.me. You can order your CD today for just $10 or DVD for just $15. A study guide for today's teaching is also available for a donation of any amount. And be sure to follow us on Facebook for excerpts of upcoming teachings and dynamic devotionals. LifePoint is brought to you by the prayers and generous support of viewers like you. So we invite you to partner with us by sending your tax-deductible contribution to LifePoint, P.O. Box 201-334, Denver, Colorado 80220. Until then, we'll see you next time as we continue on our journey to real life.